If you click on the grades link in the navigation bar or the green stripe across the screen of any Brightspace screen, it brings you to a report that looks much like this. Before we even get into this report will only show you your grades and the rubrics associated with it. If you want to see your instructor's specific comments on like pages of an assignment from a Dropbox, specific questions in a quiz, their comments specifically to you in a discussion, you have to go back to that original assignment. Also, something to note is on this grade report, your instructor chooses how your grade is displayed to you. For example, whether it's in this kind of format down here, points achieved out of point total, whether it's in a letter grade format or a percentage. And I'm sure you can ask them why it is they choose to do that. There's probably very good reasons with having to do with how the gradebook's set up. First thing you'll see when you get into a gradebook is that your instructor could possibly have a points-based gradebook in which you'll only see the points column, and that's where the number just kind of like rises, right? You get this, the number rises. In a weight-based gradebook, you will see both of these columns, and in a weighted gradebook, it means that, for example, like my class labs are worth 20 to 20%, period. That's what they will be equal to, period. There's no variation there. Okay. And again, there's different reasons why you would choose that as an instructor. So taking a look here, you'll see that there are some things that are listed all the way over to the left. And I have lecture-based quizzes. Down here I have lecture-based assignments. And those things are categories. You can see an overall grade for each category. Listed underneath them is each individual assignment. And again, what displays in here is chosen by what your instructor feels is appropriate for their grading. And then over here in comments and assessments, I just want to point out that you will see things that the instructor may have written to everybody as feedback. And that's, for example, what I have here is a note to everybody. You will also see sometimes things that the instructor has written to you. So they'll both display together, and sometimes it's hard to know which is which. Brightspace doesn't really tell you. On assignments and discussions, you can see the attached rubric. Some instructors will leave comments for you right on the rubric. So for a criterion that they gave you full points, for example, it shows in blue here, and underneath this check mark, if the instructor has a specific comment to you, they can leave it there. So it's always worthwhile to check a rubric. Now, what if you see exempt for something, and over here it has no grades? Does that mean that you should look this up and go do it? No, you shouldn't, because by having exempt here, your instructor says, don't worry about it. It will be like it doesn't even exist for you. Now, that's different from seeing a dash here, which means that you have not completed it, or seeing a 0 here, which means that maybe you didn't complete it and you got just absolutely no points, because your instructor doesn't give points for putting your name. Which sometimes, actually in this digital age, sometimes we forget that. So down here, if I used a points-based grading system, you would see a 0 that I assigned. If the student, if you haven't even tried this assignment, you may also see a dash. And that depends on whether your instructor assigns zeros for uncompleted items all throughout the semester. And again, it's their choice to how they choose to do their gradebook, and asking them questions about it probably sheds some light a little bit more on who they are as a teacher. So I encourage you to do that.